Numu manamuturu, e nanishitu he nanaka, pija ya pia tipukuba, tamina mina, pija ya tabino, tabiroa, mishitu he inumuruwe, yaa, kwetna, kapa, mishitu he, tami kuyui panunaru, ka Twiss, ka songahanapu, ka puinaru shitu he, pija tami yasamuna, tanituiwun, tami tukakwetu, nu nanishitu he ku, Ishu pija tami tukuma yogui, tamadze pija sokwamana, pija manina, una pijanum, tami mabitsiaku numurue piatipno, tami Poenabe ohub, una mishatuhe, pihwa, no ayoni numurue.
Ha'u, no Deborah Harry Minania, no Kuyui Dakota. My name is Dr. Deborah Harry. I'm the Executive Director of the Indigenous Peoples Council on Biocolonialism, and we have a program called the Emerging Indigenous Leaders Institute that we founded in 2008.
Según Kaharagus Yunjats, Danu Waskarewage, Danu Kanyakahaga, Mohawk Nation, Kahnawaga territory. My name is Donna Kaharagus Goodleaf, and I am from the Kanyakahaga Mohawk Nation. And my community is in Kahnawake, which is located just outside of Montreal. And I'm currently the program director for the Emerging Indigenous Leaders Institute program.
The EILI is the one and only effort that I see anywhere in North America that is specifically doing this from a culturally based, looking at the world, coming to understanding of the forces and the events and the conditions that have impacted us. And then, most importantly, assisting in thinking through what can be better. How do we get out of these cycles of oppression and dysfunction? And how do we make not only our own lives, but the world itself, the place that the creation intended it to
be? From the beginning to the end, it's an awakening, you know, of the struggles that others face, other Indigenous peoples, the rights that we have, you know, how we can better our situations, how we can fight the good fight and walk the good road, and better ways to handle things, and also about how to keep our traditional way of life, our cultural self, our true self, as well as that outside civilized world, and how to balance those two worlds, and to be able to walk that path and keep that in balance, to keep your life in harmony.
This program, because it is so unique, it is an Indigenous-centered, it's culturally based education, a leadership program that really equips and provides students with a whole new level of learning that is not only fun, but also is so enriching, and it validates who they are, and it equips them with the essential skills that our leaders need today. You know, in terms of understanding who you are, learning your language, having a really good analysis about the historical impacts of colonization, understanding what decolonization is, and having the passion to want to change your community, you know, so it requires a vision. So, and having the freedom to think and to express what they see, you know, is going on, and what is it that they want to change.
And most of our leadership have not had that opportunity to receive the kind of training that our students have received. So in essence, what we're creating, I think, in our region is a cadre of very well-trained, very skilled, very culturally grounded young leaders who are going to be making amazing changes in our communities on many, many fronts in the future. What we've developed is a curriculum that's pretty comprehensive. It starts out with understanding Indigenous peoples' rights, both in the international context as well as at the domestic level.
Just because I'm young and I'm a woman doesn't mean I can't hold my own and I can, go out there and take on those corporations or government agencies or whatever and not have to back down, because I do know my rights now. I can help my people in a better way and go about it in a more positive, a healthy way.
We've also have a course on Indigenous-centered education where our students have learned about the typical educational model, which probably most of us have experienced.
I think that the current direction that the educational systems are taking Indigenous peoples is there's a lot of limitations, because what it's doing is it's promoting and indoctrinating a lot of our Indigenous students to become familiar with their body of knowledge, and which does not validate ours. And what's happening is that then you see a lot of our Indigenous students coming out of these public school systems not knowing who they are, not having a strong cultural foundation of who they are, not speaking their language, not knowing their own history.
Nothing exists without history. And what's the history of anything you're looking at? Whether it's a ballpoint pen or the political social conditions of our territory, everything that exists in this physical world today has a history. And we need to understand that history, and we need to see how that history has impacted us. And when we look back, coming from the time of 1492 to today in 2013, and seeing the massive, deliberate effort to wipe us off the face of the earth. And that it still continues in much different forms, in much different ways, the attempts to assimilate us, the attempts to eradicate our languages and our identities. That has not stopped. And so if we don't understand that there has been an ongoing agenda from the first day in 1492 to right now to bring about our elimination, we're going to be like those people who walked into the gas chambers.
We've also had a course on developing sustainable homes, families, and communities, including looking at energy dependence and also looking at liberation technologies such as the use of solar technology. We have a course on nonprofit organizational development and also other models for community change such as cooperatives, small businesses, and so on. We also have a course on Indigenous wellness and health.
I am really glad that language is included in the ELI program to all the students attending the program, because it has been a learning experience for everyone, and learning our language. And like I say, our language is dying, but through programs like this, we hope that we could revitalize our language and be able to carry on for our younger children and even adults as far as that goes, because they all need to learn, and we're trying to revitalize our language.
Halma no Trisha Minania, no Dinaweta, no Guided Kata, no Toy Kata. Hello, my name is Trisha Kalabasa, and I'm from the Reno Sparks Indian Colony, and I'm Northern Paiute.
Nu Dexter Quintero, Minania, Nu Guided Kata, Shurzway, E Pia, Terry Chavez, Winnemuckaway, E Naa, George Quintero, Shurzway. Hi, I'm Dexter Quintero from Shurs, Nevada.
I gained so much. I gained culturally a lot of confidence, just about where I come from, about who I am as a person and what I want to do in my life. I started attending regular council meetings, and I joined 2 tribal committees that would benefit my community, and I also ran for tribal council. If I hadn't started going to the Virgin Indigenous Leaders Institute, I probably wouldn't have had the confidence to even run for council or do any of those things, because I just felt it wasn't important. But this program really made me realize that our culture and being educated as Native people is really important for us and for our future and for just the progress of our Native people.
The biggest thing is definitely my sense of identity. I really haven't felt a real connection with what I've been doing with my life, and lately, like, I've been getting that feeling like I've actually got a goal, I actually have a mission, and that sense of identity has really helped me be much more focused and much more of a leadership figure, and I want to change things.
It motivates you to get out there and to start making a difference in your community, so that you get, if you act on a local level, eventually those ripples in the pond will turn global, and we can make those good things happen.
One aspect of our program also focuses on internships, and it's very important for us that the leadership program is based in practical experience. So one of the opportunities we've created for our students is to actually go to the United Nations in New York in May, where our students will participate in the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues. We'll go as a delegation. They'll follow certain issues through the course of the permanent forum, and participate in various youth caucuses and Indigenous peoples caucuses to advance Indigenous peoples' rights at that level. A transformative leader is an Indigenous person who takes up the responsibility for the future of our peoples and for our territories. And that's not an easy thing to do. Many people don't feel they have the skills or the knowledge or the abilities or don't have the commitment to take on that kind of leadership. But our transformative leaders, the leaders that come out of our program, recognize that knowledge, the new knowledge and the skills that they've gained also means that they carry a responsibility to move it forward into our communities. And the entire program is based on this concept of creating transformative leaders. We invest in our students, and the students in turn gain skills, knowledge, awareness, and commitment, and then they create change in their communities. So it's all about transformation. It's all about putting knowledge to action for the good of our communities.